Well, Micky, a couple of weeks ago we stood here after the York game when they'd equalised late and everybody said it felt like a defeat. Does that one feel a little bit like a win tonight?
Yeah, almost. Yeah, I think it was good to come back and get the point. I don't think it was a snatch point at all. I think it'd have been harsh had we not left here without anything tonight. I thought it was a terrific game. A lot of good competitive play throughout the game, and yeah, Rory's come up trumps and got himself another wonder goal at the end to give us a point.
Very tight game, didn't seem to be much between the sides all evening.
Yeah, well, we said that at half time. You know, everybody, it was almost like, you know, we matched up to them and just thought we're going to see if we got better players on the night than you in the critical areas. And it was going to be either a mistake or a bit of slackness or a bit of, you know, wonder that was going to win the game or get the goal, and that's probably true in both of the goals. We might have done a bit better defending on a corner, but certainly it was a moment of magic that got us back into the game. So there's fine lines. I don't think there was much between the two teams over the whole night.
We had a couple of corners where we might have conceded, including the one where we did, but generally defence stood up to it very well.
Yeah, I think that was a real positive tonight. You know, they're obviously a very physical side. They've got a set way of playing, and yet you have to admire them because it's almost taken them at the moment to winning the league. But I thought we stood up to pretty much everything they threw at us tonight and gave a lot back against them in return. So a lot of positives from tonight's game, a lot of good performances, and coming out of it with a point at the end, as you say, I think, you know, gives us an added boost as well. Not having lost the game to the odd goal.
And Paul mentioned Louis John in the interviews at the weekend. He stood up really well.
Yeah, I thought Louis did really well. I mean, he's a real handful, isn't he? We gave Louis the job of marking Reid at set plays. I thought it was a real good physical battle. I mean, he's a real, you know, he won't mind me saying so, he's an old-fashioned centre forward. But I thought he did really well. But Louis certainly gave as good as he got against him. And I think Louis did really well against him tonight. He can be well pleased with his performance.
And then after the goal, their goal went in, came back, and Rory's moment of, as you say, moment of magic in stoppage time.
Yeah, we just sort of collected it, you know, sort of just 5 or 10 yards in their half, and we're just thinking, go on, get outside him and get yourself across him. We had numbers in the box, and all of a sudden his little jink took him into a position, and he fired one off before everyone realised, I think, and it thundered in, didn't it? Right in the top corner.
Just before he'd taken a free kick that had gone over everybody, and must have been cursing him at that moment. And then
yes, probably you're right. We were cursing him on the side, saying what a poor free kick it was. But there you go.
Then redeems himself.
He does indeed, and he's our saviour.
And chance now a couple of away games. Seen one of the title favourites tonight up against another one next Tuesday, and before that go to Woking.
Yeah, Woking. They're all difficult. I've said this before, Tony. Every game has its own difficulties and its own merits, and you know, Woking, they haven't played tonight, have they? So they'll be fighting for their life. You know, they've got beaten Saturday in a real crunch game against Maidstone. We're just ticking along, picking up our points, and we should go into it with a nice bit of confidence. And we'll be looking to go and win the game as we often do. You know, it won't be easy though, because there's a lot on it for them. I expect there'll be a good crowd, local sort of derby if you like. But yeah, we'll see that one Saturday.
Brilliant. Thanks, Micky, very much.
Thanks, Tony.